It's time to pop a top and relax, everybody. Welcome to Max and Mike, two almost drunk guys talking politics and life.
Hey everybody, it's Max Miller here again, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And I have my good friend Mike on the phone. How are you, Mike?
Fantastic, Max. Had a great Christmas.
Yes, and did your gift card presents go over well? I should remind people that Mike's idea of a thoughtful gift is an Applebee's gift card.
The nice part there is that you get a 20% gift card yourself.
Yes, which as Mike and I were talking before we hit record here, that I actually had no idea you can do that. So it's kind of scary that he should do that. I can do that because you'd also remind people, because I did say this last time, that Mike's mother, who is English, I should point out, God bless her, asked me to be nice to him. So, which is true, right? As if I'm mean, because I'm not. I'm the nice one here. And
well, Max, what was interesting is because I was talking about originally being English, then Scottish royalty, then Irish royalty.
Oh boy!
She actually got me a DNA kit for Christmas to find out what royalty I really am.
One of those from Ancestry.com or something, is that? Because that's yep. What really that's what it is.
That's what it is.
So yeah, but she didn't give you the results, right? It's just you have to do the DNA test now and send it off, right?
Right, but my plan is to actually give it to someone else that I know is English royalty.
Okay.
And get the results.
No, you should do that. I'm sure the Queen would be happy to oblige, or Prince Philip, one of those two. I tell you who'd be really happy to do it is Prince Harry, right? Because he's a bit of a lad. I'm sure he'd be happy to play along.
Oh my God, if I did that, it would be so.
Oh, you should. That's a brilliant idea, actually. Who do you know that's maybe... No, I've got a better idea. Find someone who's an Arab.
Oh, my God.
Could you imagine?
I would drive her... I could drive her into therapy.
That would be brilliant if you suddenly turn out to be some guy from the Middle East. From Iran or Iraq or somewhere.
I'm sure it would be... I'd be a sheik, though.
Yeah, well, obviously you'd be a member of the Saudi Arabian royal family. Yeah, exactly. Which, by the way, were put in place by the British show. I mean, you'd fit right in. So you had a good Christmas?
Fantastic. Got the family down from Massachusetts.
All right. Okay.
All good.
And are any still there? Are they still with you?
Yeah, they're actually still here.
They didn't sound very enthralled when you said that. You said it like this. Yeah, they're still here. That's what it sounded like.
It's great to have them, but they're leaving tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Oh, they're not for New Year?
No, they've got to get back.
Well, by the way, how come I didn't get an Applebee gift card? I didn't get anything from you.
I must not have your new address.
Yeah, because Applebee, it's my number one place. So I did hear a lot of noise at the beginning. I will explain to people that you were probably opening a drink of some description. Is that what you were doing?
I was getting a drink. I got my usual Crown Royal, finished a nice bottle of wine. I usually need to have some lubricant to talk to you, so...
Yeah, thanks for that.
I'm in a good spot.
Yeah, well, I've got mine. I'm going to have a sip, if you don't mind. Hold on. Okay, well, cheers to you. So what has caught your attention over the holidays and since we spoke, which has actually been 2 weeks now? Mike, anything special that's caught your attention? I know I should remind everybody that you're to blame. You voted for Trump. I did not. So I counted out your vote, basically, but it didn't help. So what has been going on?
It didn't hurt.
Well, that's true. What's been going on in your view then in the apart from Trump talking in the third person, excuse me, which I thought was brilliant. Like the Queen Victoria.
I love people who talk in third person, and I always wanted to ask themselves a question, and but they don't quite get there. But it is, that third person, what would Donald Trump say? I think that's actually hysterical. But I think there's actually some funny stuff that President Obama's been doing. I think that, he's been very narcissistic. I mean, saying he would have won the election, and I think doing a lot of policy stuff as a lame duck president is pretty unique. And it's different.
Well, heaven above that an actual president will do policy stuff, Mike. I mean, really, come on. That's. What are you expecting to do? Just sit there? Well, seriously, you expecting to have his slippers on by the fire, smoking a pipe, and having a glass of sherry and not doing anything for the next 3 weeks? Is that what you're expecting to do? I
expect him to continue to play golf like he's been doing.
Oh, like you mean? Like you.
I think that this is a very unusual break from the norm. And most presidents in their lame duck scenario have not tried to make major policy statements like he is. And it's just funny because I think that if Trump or Bush would have done this, it would have been an outrage. And I find it interesting that there's not an outrage when it's not your perspective of what you.
Well, Trump seems to think it's an outrage, right? I mean, he's talking about Russia and Putin. He's saying that. The one that made me laugh today or yesterday was he said, "Okay, well, I will actually now go and listen to the intelligence report on Russian hacking." As if it wasn't his responsibility. The thing that bothers me is he seems to put Russia first before Americans. In other words, the Americans that disagree with him are third in line behind Republicans, Russia, and then they show up somehow. That's the impression I'm getting from Trump right now, is that he's not defending Americans unless they happen to support him. If they support him, then he's going to be there. But if you don't agree with him, he's that, well, Russia, I believe what Russia's telling me, they had nothing to do with it. So I don't necessarily agree with that at all. I think Obama's quite right to do that. I know you got upset that he said he could beat Trump. I know that offended your delicate ears, that he said that he could beat Trump if he ran against Trump the third time.
I think the funny part there was how disrespectful that was to Hillary. I mean, he ran hard for Hillary, went to all of the different states, and lost. And he says, I could have won. So what's he saying? He's saying Hillary's an awful candidate. I mean, that's what he's saying.
Actually, I as much as it will amaze people who do listen, I actually agree with you on that one. Believe it or not. I don't know why he said it. I think it was... I don't know why he said it. Was it in a press conference? How did he even say it? I don't know. I never saw the context of what he said. Was it in a press conference or something he did?
Well, Max, I just want to write this down. It's 9:45.
Okay.
December 29th, you agreed with.
Holy shit. Yes, you're right. Holy cow. Damn it. We actually agree on something. We have nothing else to talk about.
I'm hanging up right now.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is true. Whatever career we hope to have here is not going to last very long.
You know, he also did major policy stuff on Israel, and funny enough, I'm not totally against what he did on Israel. I don't like that he did it when he did it, but I really agree that the Israeli settlements are a big problem, and they're not an independent thing from Palestinian problems, but you know what? The Israelis need to stop the settlements. And I like that statement. I don't like that he did it in the way that he did it at the end of his 2 terms, when he could have had this statement.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Hold on, write this down. That's the second thing we agree on. I actually agree with you. I agree he should have done it soon. He had 8 years to do it. He could have done it. I agree. I don't know why he didn't do it. So I agree with you on that.
By the way, the other thing, I saw him swing a golf club the other day again. Despite how much he's played golf, he is awful.
See, now I'm not a golfer, right? So you and I have talked about this before. I will say it again for the new listeners out there, the 3 of you, is that Mike has tried to teach me golf. Mike's an ex-PGA pro. He tells me, is I no way of proving it. And Mike has tried to teach me left-handed because I'm left-handed, and I'm still terrible. So you're telling me that you're telling me he's not as bad as me, though, right? He can't be as bad as me.
No.
I like the dead air there for a second. No, that was pretty good. But why do you say is he not good? But no president's good, right? There isn't any that are really good. Has there ever been a good golf-playing president? Has there ever been one?
I don't think any president has the time to be a good golfer. But I mean, Kennedy, I guess, was a pretty good golfer. But I mean, you were an adult then, but I wasn't. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, but here's the other part of it, though, right? The reason a president doesn't have time to play golf because he has a real job. You, on the other hand, have time to play golf. So there's something not quite right with that story. I should actually also say, and I do think this is absolutely friggin' hilarious, that you had to have your hand had surgery. I remember, I've known Mike a long time, but you had surgery on your hand like 10 years ago from playing golf, and it had to be you had to have cortisone shots or something. But actually, I thought this was because of masturbation. That's why you needed that cortisone shot. I had no idea you were left-handed for that, by the way. But there you go.
There definitely were rumors about that.
Here's the question: did it help?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll move on from that story because I don't want to leave too many images in people's minds there. So what else is happening in your view? I'll tell you why I have one. Apart from Trump talking in the third person about how great the economy is, his other famous tweets recently have been around the trade. I know what it was. Today he said there are two. I don't know if you saw this, Mike, because you're probably out using your hand playing golf or something. But he said that the two things that are, which is interesting, right? Because again, actually, this sentiment, there's nothing wrong with it. Two things that my administration will be about is American jobs and American trade. I think that's what he said, or along those lines. Jobs for Americans and America first. Actually, I think that's what he said. Did you see that?
I did not.
Okay. So I actually find that interesting. I find that refreshing. And I think that's partly why he won. Because people in a lot of these states that have been, or cities and towns that have been forgotten, in their view, that's what they want to hear. I don't think he can deliver in many ways.
I think the mistake here is you say that's what they want to hear.
Yeah.
As opposed to that's what they need. And I think there's a big difference there. I don't think most Americans are racist. I don't think most Americans
I agree.
care about all these peripheral issues and social nonsense from their perspective that doesn't affect them. People want to live the way they want to live. I think most Americans don't care.
I agree with that too.
And I think the problem is that Hillary and many others have made those the central issues as opposed to things that matter to people, which is I want to live a good life. I want to be able to marry someone I love, raise my kids, get a good job, retire, and.
But I have to say the GOP is by far and away the worst at that, right? The social issues, character, the deficit, these are all GOP huge issues. Defense of the Constitution, those are all GOP mantras, Mike, for the last 20 years. Suddenly they're out the window. And they're gone. They've flown away. I mean, look at the cabinet picks he's got. This guy who's a friend of Russia, the Secretary of State, the Exxon guy. Right. I mean, what do you think of his cabinet picks? What do you think of what he's done there?
So I'm actually hopeful. I'm glad he's picked very successful people that can't be bribed, that don't come with agendas, that are very successful, that are giving up CEO careers to actually give back to the country. I think that's what was meant. I'd like to give it a chance. And look, if they don't do a great job, if they don't come as billed with that kind of pedigree, then I think that let's go back to political situations. But I'm actually hopeful. I don't think that people should think that someone who's been around the world and is very successful and very wealthy means they're not going to be capable. I think they are capable. My experience with very successful people is they work their ass off and they're capable of understanding very complex issues and a lot of perspectives. I'm very hopeful, and I wish we would have a little bit more of an open mind than everyone having an agenda that this guy's rich and that's a big, billionaires. Oh my God, a billionaire? How do you bribe a billionaire? You can't. And I'm very hopeful. So could they screw up? Will they be terrible or great? I don't know, but I'd like to try this route because I think the other route has been awful.
Yeah, it's funny. You've talked about this before, that you think it has been really bad in the past. I honestly, I don't think so. I think it's just business as usual. I'm not talking about if people are corrupt and stuff, because that's not business as usual. I'm not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that are career politicians or people that come in with some public experience or diplomatic experience. Actually, I don't